Up next.
On a glorious journey to great academic heights, you need a university that will guarantee you hopes of employment without sweltering in a pool of job hunts. I present to you Ndejje University. We are an Anglican university endowed with 3 state-of-the-art campuses in Luero Bombo, the Graduate School in Rubaga, and the Kampala campus along Balintuma Road behind Mengo Hospital. With well-coordinated learning programs ranging from day, evening, weekend, in-service and e-learning, the globally recognized university offers job market competing courses that will surely light your academic path. Our various undergraduate and graduate programs include Business Administration and Management, Engineering and Survey, Basic Sciences and Information Technology, Education, Environment and Agricultural Sciences, Arts, Health Sciences, and many more. With accreditation by the National Council of Higher Education, we now offer a diploma in clinical medicine and community health. We as well take pride in some courses sponsored by the Higher Education Students Financing Board for a loan scheme that will not get you worried of tuition as you pursue your dream. Come ready for an academic adventure on great facilities of learning. You can visit our website on www.ndejjeuniversity.ac.ug. Ndejje University, the fear of God brings knowledge and wisdom.
This week.
I spray right after the planter because I'm not working my soil. I'm using no-till. So all this stuff which is lying here, sometimes when we plant, there is a new wheat which is already germinated. So I apply a Roundup.
Coming up, Ndejje University end of semester 2 examination practical papers to be finalized this week. His Excellency Museveni welcomes Algerian partnership in the energy sector. Makerere waives off surcharges on late tuition payment. This and more on Live at 8. Welcome to Ndejje University TV. This is Live at 8 with me, Grace NABUKENYA, with the news in details. Ndejje University is finalizing its practical papers tomorrow and expects to start the theory papers on Monday. Let's have a look. The faculty administrator shared about the schedule of theory papers that are expected to start on Monday.
The examination theories will start on Monday. That's when I expect these students to write the theory papers. And so far so good, the clearance is well done, and I still encourage those who are still trying to clear here and there to do whatever they can in order to meet the requirements. And to those who have lost hope, let them not lose hope. That's my encouragement to them, because examinations will always come and go. They shouldn't be on pressure. Yes, I know others wish to finish on time to the third years because they want to finish, and by October, around that time, they are also in position of graduating. So I think, I continue to encourage them. For our part, as staff, we have done what we can, and I want to really congratulate all my staff for preparing these students, because if the staff had not prepared them, the students equally would be doubting themselves. That's the reason why they have the confidence to enter examination room. My only communication to all the students is always come on time to examination room so that you are able to breathe in and breathe out.
It shall be remembered that unlike the previous years, this time round students with 80% tuition payment will be allowed to temporarily sit for papers as they complete the rest of the tuition.
Yes, our policies have made clear that when a student reaches 80%, there's a percentage of papers that we give this student. We don't let your money just go like that. We give you some of the papers to do, and as Ndejje University, we also understand the havoc. Remember, we are just coming out of COVID effects, so the financial havoc that has been caused by COVID, we do understand. So as a university, I want to thank the management for accepting these students to access the examinations. Otherwise, yes, with the 80% and above, we allow you to do some of the papers.
He shared with us the qualification for students to access the examination room.
Yes, for one to sit for an examination, one should come with the fully signed up examination clearance. This is what we are using in these coming examinations, and anything which is not like this, then you may not be a registered student. 2, you come with your registration certificate, which they have been using to access our services, but now for examinations they will come with both documents to access their examinations. So those are the 2 requirements for now that are essential for one to access examination facilities.
He further urged the students to take healthy precautions as they prepare and also wished them success.
This will always at least have enough rest. The students will have enough rest, because sleeping or resting is part of examinations. If you don't have enough rest, you are most likely not to excel well in your examinations. Therefore, to our dear students, please, may you take rest, may you eat well. I know with the economic conditions, some people will say, I only now survive on this and that, but this will eat well. Eating well is also another trick to passing examinations. I wish all of them, all the students of Ndejje, a success in the theory examinations.
The students, on the other hand, shared with us on how they have prepared and what they expect come Monday.
I want to let you know that at least the policies have been a little bit made friendly, that if you're already at 80%, you have the access to temporarily have that temporary examination number that will enable you to do some exams for the first week. So please, if you're out there, don't miss out on the chance that which we've been granted, as you look for many ways of getting the the balance. And I also want to let you know that each and every time has its own, actually each and everything comes in its own time. So we had a time when we're beginning the semester, we had time for politics, and it's time for examination. I know most of us might have put all our efforts in politics, but nevertheless, we still have some days, as you know, university exams. You may be having today, tomorrow, no, the other day, yes, so we still have more time to prepare, but then it does not mean that everything has come to an end. So please sit down, settle, revise until you're called to that paper. Because I would say that I'm also in panic because I was among the people who were so much committed in politics, but then it has not stopped me from giving it my best, regardless the situation, regardless the time, and I now do, and I will perform to my very best.
I expect the exams not to be that hard, because if you have read and you have read what the lecturer has taught you, so you expect the exams to be fair.
It should be noted that the theory examination start date applies to both main and Kampala campus. Grace NABUKENYA, Alan Gamoli, live at 8. His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has stated that Uganda is ready to work with Algeria's government to develop her energy sector. Let's have more of this story.
As they say.
Makerere University students are celebrating after university management suspended additional fees for late tuition payment for the current semester. The surcharge policy required each student to pay 50,000 shillings if he or she did not pay at least 200,000 shillings for continuing students and 60% for freshers. This was in the first 2 weeks after reporting to the university before registering. Registration is mandatory for university students. A student cannot sit for university exams if he or she has not registered for the semester. Mr. Robert Maseruka, the institution's guild president, said the extension will help many students who have been facing financial challenges to clear their tuition balances in this due economic instability.
We cannot be punishing a student because these private students go through a lot for them to pay tuition. Some of them pay tuition by themselves, others by the parents. Now, if the government has failed to pay student allowances of students on government sponsorship, we cannot start to punish a student that has delayed to give in their tuition. Why? Because the economic standing of this country does not favor the private students to pay on time. So we cannot make students pay for what they are going to pay. We cannot get them pay surcharges for the tuition they are still going to pay, which is unfavoring. So we went to the administration and requested them to waive off this surcharge. Why? Students, if they have failed to pay tuition, how sure are we that they can add on onto what they are already supposed to pay? So that was waived off, which was a good thing for this university and for the private students.
Maseruka also went further and told Live at 8 how they have successfully also managed to talk to the administration so that they extend on the dates of registration.
So we requested the university, just like it has always been extending government allowances, they should also extend at a time when students should be registering, and this was extended from 5th May to 26th May, because we are starting exams on 29th. So we at least believe that by the time we get to 26th May, we will have given students enough time to make enough funding from all sources to make sure they pay tuition before 26th May.
On the issue of allowances to government students, the president said they are working hand in hand with the administration together with the Ministry of Finance.
In the normal understanding, government students are supposed to have their allowances in the first 2 weeks of the semester. And you realize now we are in the 3rd month of the semester. We are actually remaining with 2 weeks to exam time, and government students have not yet received their allowances. The government is equally saying they don't have money. The administration is saying they are fighting together with the government to make sure students students have money, and that has led to the different strikes and riots that you have seen before. And nevertheless, we hope that these government students will be receiving their money as early as this coming week, that is starting Monday, to make sure that they cater for themselves, and secondly, they have their welfare catered for.
This is what the president had to say on the issue of Makerere having strikes in almost every semester.
Strikes do not happen because students want. Strikes happen basing on the dispensation problems that we are facing. And so the belief is, as long as we do not clear these problems, strikes will always happen. Just like I've already stated. In the first 2 weeks, we have had 2 strikes. And 2 of these are because of government allowances. Yes? So it is because of the need of the time that gets us rifle together with the students, join hands, and get onto a strike. So ours is to make the administration address these subjects before we get on to the striking. Because we believe most of the cases, the administration, even when they may not want, but as long as they fail to deliver what we feel students should be having, then sometimes a strike is inevitable.
Talking to some of the students at the Hill, these were some of the views on the university waves of surcharges on late registration payments.
We cannot be as much excited about it because you realize the surcharges came in with a very bad policy of 15% increment. So the style of administration always coming out to waive surcharges on a semester basis. For me, I think it is just a confirmation to the administration itself that the policy of 15% in itself was very bad, with ill intentions to the students. And I think by the mere fact that they can always realize that every semester in and out, I think it is just enough for the administration to realize that the 15% tuition policy in itself was a very bad policy, so therefore should be revised, because that is how the surcharge policy also comes in.
I think it's really a very, very important thing. Why? Because not everyone gets money at the same time. So many students in the university have different financial backgrounds, so some are able to get the money earlier and others are not. So I think it gives a chance to those who get money a little bit later, or even those who are able to pay in installments. It gives them a chance to also be able to clear the tuition and consequently be able to do the examinations. So I really feel good about it. It's a very good thing in the positive direction.
Yes, it is good, but remember that the government has also failed to pay the government students their allowances. But then how would you expect a single parent like my parent to pay the tuition in time? My parent maybe is a data collector. My parent cannot even compete with the government, but he has failed. Now it should be, I think we should make an understanding between the school, between the university administration and the parents. It should be something that is maybe, I remember when students in their high schools, a parent comes, I cannot manage some tuition for this and this reason. I think it should be something like that that should be done.
Removing them was the right thing to do, because given the fact that the university or every institution at the start of the semester plans for a particular amount of money that they are going to get, and this money does not include surcharges. So my point is, once they add surcharges, this money does not go into the running of the university, but I think some people with selfish interests rather take this money because it's not accounted for. We account for a specific amount of money that is paid by what? By the various students doing the various courses. So I think surcharges is usually money that goes unaccounted for.
This year, the university has conducted 3 semesters, which is contrary to the normal 2 semesters, and this has caused a financial burden on students and parents. Makerere University students will commence their semester 2 final exam for the 2022-2023 academic year on May 29th. Grace NABUKENYA, Alan Gamoli, live at 8.
Judges, as they say,
In a letter dated May 8th, the Vice-Chancellor of Makerere University, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, suspended the surcharges on late tuition payment at Makerere University following a meeting of the Central Management Committee. Now the Guild President of Makerere University reacts on it. His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni on Thursday met a delegation from Algeria, led by their Minister of Energy and Mines, Mr. Mohamed Akab, who called on him at State House Entebbe. These were in Uganda to follow up on a memorandum of understanding signed when President Museveni visited Algeria in March this year, 2023.
Monsieur le Président, Excellences, nous sommes venus sur instruction de Monsieur le Président Majid Tebboune pour commencer à concrétiser vos décisions lors de votre fructueuse visite, votre honneur.
Your Excellency, we came here in your country regarding the instructions and orientations of our President Abdelmajid Tebboune to concrete and to implement all what you have done during your visit in Algeria on March.
The two energy ministries discussed collaboration and partnership in 4 areas that included, among others, oil refinery, financing the East African crude oil pipeline, and electricity generation. The president said the East African crude oil pipeline is not only good for Uganda, but also the region in what he termed as the Pan-Africanism spirit, since it also transports the petroleum of Congo and Tanzania.
Because because if we have our refinery, we refine our petroleum and use it here and in the region. But because the oil companies wanted to export, so we said, okay, we can add it on, although we shall get a little bit less money because the transmission will deduct some fee, but because it is Pan-African, it is for the region. We also like it because it will bring the petroleum of Congo, the petroleum of Tanzania. So it's good, although we shall lose some money, but we don't mind. So since we are really committed, it is good if we fund it. But the most important is the refinery, because the refinery solves our problems 100%, and partially solves the problem of the region also. The region will get locally produced electricity, petroleum.
On electricity generation, His Excellency Museveni said Uganda needs more support in solar power generation, wind power, geothermal and nuclear in some other places, now that Uganda is targeting to have 52,000 megawatts by 2050.
Now on the transmission lines, those ones we have got plenty of work, because we have got plans for different sources of electricity, but they all end up needing transmission and distribution. There is the hydropower points along the Nile. I think now we have exploited about 4 sites, which we have built dams on, but there is another like 5 or 6 sites on the Nile. Actually, for us, we don't care much about the pipeline.
The Algerian delegation, together with Uganda's Energy Ministry, also discussed the possibility of working with Uganda National Oil Company to develop the Kasurubani block near the central processing facility that is being constructed at Stilenga. And Uganda National Oil Company has already got the license from the Minister of Energy. Minister Nankabirwa informed the president that the transmission line that will enable Uganda to trade with South Sudan has not got support, and it's an area where the Algerian partnership comes in handy.
I have come with my team also, and we've had a meeting following up on the MOU that we signed when you visited Algeria. And there are 4 areas. One area of the refinery, I've explained the project framework agreement that we are following, and the expiry of it come 30th June. And we agreed to share that information. That does not, they requested us to share with them the information regarding how far we've gone with the refinery.
Okay.
Bearing in mind the exclusivity in the agreement, which is expiring in June.
Algerian Minister of Energy and Mines, Mr. Mohamed Akab, thanked President Museveni for accepting to work with Algeria in the energy sector and described his engagement with Uganda's Energy Ministry as fruitful. On the other hand, President Museveni was happy to learn that Algeria has allowed Uganda to export milk into the country and that negotiations with Ugandan milk processing companies were in high gear. Grace NABUKENYA, live at 8. Thank you for watching. That has been Live at 8 with me, Grace NABUKENYA.